We have Packers fans here? Okay. All right. Any shareholders? We have some bosses of mine. All right, I'm a fellow shareholder as well. I guess you call me an employee owner. Any fans of other teams here today? You can admit it. Bears fans?
Joe.
The editor's Bears fan.
Well, I always ask that because I want to make sure I speak slowly enough so people can follow. It may not be as astute as Packers fans. But as Dave said, I've been with the team since 1993. I started as an intern in school. I'm from the Green Bay area, born and raised in De Pere. Went to school in Madison at the UW and had the opportunity to intern while I was still in school, and went back and started doing football PR. Worked with Brett Favre, Reggie White, and everything, and everyone who's come in between. And as a local kid, to see the Packers grow as an organization from really a 10-day-a-year operation in terms of our physical footprint and what we do in the community, to become a year-round mecca and destination for fans and Packers fans and football fans and even non-fans alike is really fantastic in terms of our impact in the community and everything that goes on with that. So it's been a lot of fun to see that grow, and our impact has grown tremendously, and we hope to do that in the future. So to discuss a little bit of that, Titletown is what we've got going on now, and we'll see some images, but just to bring it back to August of 15, when we made our announcement. It's immediately west of Lambeau Field, but the basics are it's a 42-plus acre development with 8 to 10 acre public park and plaza, which is what we're really excited about to make it unique. The initial tenants, as you may know, that we announced, Lodge Kohler. So this awesome hospitality and venue space that we're experiencing here, we're going to have in Green Bay. 4-diamond hotel with 144 rooms, including 10 suites, indoor garden pool, spa, and fitness facility. Really fantastic. The community is excited to have a property of that caliber in Green Bay. It's the first 4-diamond hotel we're going to have there. So we're upping the bar there. Hinterland Restaurant and Brewery. Those of you who are familiar with Hinterland knew it was downtown for a long time, and Bill and Michelle Tressler were outgrowing their space there, and we're considering some options. And the timing was right to discuss with the Packers in terms of being here. So it's a natural growth for him. The building he was in downtown is this fantastic old building, and he's got another brewer that moved in there to take that over and also do some coffee roasting. So we're pleased downtown still has a great attraction like that, but also pleased Bill's able to expand his wings a little bit. And our health partner, Bellin Health, is going to build a sports medicine clinic, injury prevention, performance improvement, treatment and therapy for injuries. Our team physician and his colleagues are going to be based there. So from a practical standpoint, it's great for our guys who just have to go across the street to follow up on anything that's going on in their performance. But weekend warriors, such as myself and maybe some of you in the room, can go in there and get assessed and fixed up if need be, but also get things analyzed and lower your 5K and 10K times, that sort of thing. And why are we doing this? A couple of main reasons. Really to enhance the greater Green Bay community and the economy, just by having a unique space like this, a unique development that can complement the other things that are going on that are exciting in the area. And if you've been following along, we've got a lot of neat things going on downtown. Some neat developments in the suburbs, so really trying to build on that momentum and offer a unique and complementary aspect to it. And ensuring the Packers remain in a financially sound and stable position. And that can be achieved a couple of ways. One, we'll realize some revenue from this development. Responsible. We wouldn't do this if it wasn't responsible financially. But also we want it to benefit the entire community, because it's stronger in Green Bay and the region is, and really we can extend it to the state. That helps the Packers. And we certainly are season ticket holder base, 38,000 accounts plus between the green and gold packages. But we've got our premium seat base, our suites and club seats, and a lot of those are in the corporate world. So we need a strong economy in our region and the state remain financially stable, and Titletown will contribute to that. We commissioned a study in the area to take a look at things, and as we suspected, some results were very similar to what had also been done by the county as well as the city, just taking a look and a strategic look at how to grow the area. And the economy is pretty good in Green Bay. And do we have some folks in here familiar with the Green Bay area and the economy there? All right, so you're probably familiar with some of these things. That, relatively speaking, a healthy and vibrant economy, but demographically, not for long. I think we're all experiencing these challenges around the state. Smaller, mid-sized communities like Green Bay are fighting to attract and retain talent. And that is going to have a piece in the economy. We need to grow in many ways. We've got strong manufacturing base, advanced manufacturing, but we want to try and grow some other areas of the economy, have some opportunities there. And we can do something about it. With the brand and attraction that is the Packers, we can bring some attention to these developments, maybe attract young professional talent, certainly retain our folks in the Green Bay area, make Green Bay more exciting, more vibrant, and have more offerings for us. One of those ways is by simply being a brand that is nationally and internationally known, and by using the Packers and our nationally televised games and just other tremendous interest in football, it's a great window through which Green Bay can be seen. And you may remember this game from a couple of years ago, halftime, mind you. But on Sunday Night Football, Bob Costas always does a little soliloquy, if you will. But this one is great for us.
Back in Green Bay, where the Packers lead the Bears 42-0 at halftime of Sunday Night Football. You know, when you think about the venues at which NFL games are played, many are impressive, but few are historic. Tonight, we're looking at one of football's exceptions. In its own way, Lambeau is as iconic as any of the most storied and appealing baseball parks. And then there is this remarkable fact. Green Bay is the smallest city with a franchise in any of the 4 major North American sports. Its population is just over 100,000. Lambeau's capacity, 81,000. Number of consecutive regular season sellouts, 305. Even granted that this is very much a regional franchise, think of what the equivalent would be for the same percentage of Chicago's citizens to file into venerable Soldier Field. Its capacity would have to expand to about 2 million. And then there's just the feel and atmosphere of Lambeau and its unique connection to this town's sense of itself and its history. So, if you've never been here, this belongs on your short list of the sports settings you simply have to be able to say you visited at least once. Put it right there with Churchill Downs, Augusta National, Wimbledon, Fenway, Wrigley, and just a very few others. It's in a special category, pretty close to the perfect place to watch an NFL game. And tonight, things are going perfectly for the Packers and for their fans, up 42-0 at the half.
So the power of appealing to sports fans. So Sunday Night Football, granted by halftime, I think we lost some viewers. Thank you, Chicago. Actually, it's all right. But north of 25 million people watch Sunday Night Football. So that is tremendously valuable airtime for certainly Lambeau Field, but people who come to see Lambeau, bucket list trip, they spend a weekend, take in other attractions in the area, come to Kohler and play golf. But within that, you may get a few people who think, wow, I kind of like Green Bay. I should maybe think about this. Even beyond that, if we can get some entrepreneurs to think, oh, I love the Packers, they've got good things going on here, maybe I'll come to Green Bay and start my business. So, I mean, those are the types of things we're doing now. And just to orientate ourselves, to take a look, if you're not familiar with the area, I'll go with this laser pointer is. You can see Lambeau Field there, and to the left is going west out to Interstate 41. We've got Cabela's up by the highway, and this other development here in the middle that is where we focus in on Titletown. And the stadium to the right of the stadium News announced a plan to bring back the 0.5% sales tax to fund some county initiatives as well as the new expo hall. So we've got some political and developmental news going on with that, in that respect. Not so long ago, it looked like this, the farmland back in the late 30s. And then you fast forward to today. So there's obviously been a lot of development in Lambeau Field. Where it came to be is an interesting story in and of itself. But to take a look at what we're looking to develop, roughly the same footprint. The highlighted areas are all the properties we own. And to rewind a little bit, that development to the west, you can see Kmart, the old Kmart building right there. And there were all kinds of other parcels in this area that became available. And as the Packers, we didn't necessarily have the big vision at that time, but we thought, you know what, this is right for development. Somebody is going to get going on this. Let's at least buy some parcels so we can have a hand in the development and hopefully shape what it is, who would come in, that sort of thing. And then a few more parcels became available, and then lo and behold, we bought all of this. So the big one out here by Interstate 41 is Cabela's, which opened up a few years ago. And we bought all the parcels in what is now Titletown, including the homes across the street on Brookwood. You see the smaller parcels. And then south of the stadium, we purchased parcels that became parking. And you can see that, the open space now. And then you can see what is Titletown when it was raised. Cabela's is here. Just to further orientate, take a look at a couple different angles from the stadium. Photos courtesy of the Green Bay Press Gazette. You see looking west, the raised areas. And then from the west looking east, you can see when some of those properties still existed. And then raised just before construction began a couple of years ago. So, orientation. Of course, here's Lambeau today, and that is the focus and the magnet that attracts all this and why it makes it so unique. So, immediately west of Lambeau Field is Ridge Road. We've got Marley Lane on the western part of the development, Lombardi to the north, Brookwood Drive to the south. Commercial opportunities, some underway obviously. We've got Hinterland that opened last month. Some possibilities also in the development, perhaps an office building. We know we're going to do residential. We've got to narrow down to 2 developers. Not in a position to name names yet, but we feel pretty good about both our options there and going over some ideas to finalize that. Bell & Health, I mentioned, is located there. Lodge Kohler, which will be opening up in July. Bell & Health will open in July as well. And the part we're really excited about is this public park. I'll go through some of the snippets there. But Lodge Kohler has been a partner of ours for several years in various capacities, and then we approached them, and I still remember when we invited Mr. Kohler out to training camp and sort of presented this idea of what we're going to be doing to the west, and the discussions continued from there. But very pleased to have them as a tenant in the development, and we did a groundbreaking last spring with leadership teams and elected officials together for that. David and Herb and our president Mark Murphy there, nice pose. You can tell Mark was a former athlete down in his athletic stance there. But that was a fun day, and of course things are continuing. Here's some images of what will be some of the rooms and the terrace and the big larger suite areas overlooking Lambeau Field. So really excited to have that by us. And we're partnering with them in the sense that they'll provide the rooms and we will do all the meetings at Lambeau Field. So we'll stay there, they'll shut over to Lambeau. Have any of you been to Lambeau for any meetings? Yeah, a few of you. We've got all kinds of different space, our atrium and our ballroom, but then we've got space that overlooks the stadium. So we really feel we've got the most unique meeting space in the state and even the region. Hinterland I mentioned, we had a groundbreaking there. One of the gentlemen in the picture is Michael Obinger, village president of Ashwaubenon, who passed away recently. Mike was a great partner with the Packers and really shared a vision with us, and we're certainly sad to see him pass, but the village will continue to be a partner of ours in this. And for those of you who don't know, across the street where this development is in the village of Ashwaubenon. Lambeau Field itself is in Green Bay, but when you cross the street in 3 directions, you're in Ashwaubenon. The other direction, you're in Green Bay, staying in Green Bay. Hinterland recently opened up, so the vision there came to life. And Bell & Health, just a couple renderings of their building. That's really going to be a special place too, that we think will be a destination for professional athletes and others come to Green Bay and get work done by our team physicians who are some of the best in the country. So again, taking a look at the site plan, you can see the various elements. And the white buildings, A, B, C, and D, are in our first phase, as well as some of the public park and plaza. The other commercial office and residential will be in phase 2, which we are working on right now and hope to announce some more details of that sometime this summer. Just to highlight a few things, the big thing we announced last fall was having the sledding hill concept, which we think will be an awesome destination for shoulder seasons, because we're going to be able to make snow there, and the ice rink that goes with it will be able to make ice. So come this November, you can come on up and do some tubing and ice skating. We've got a playground, which is very unique, custom-made equipment, be a great attraction for families. We've got a public plaza area in which we'll have some various types of programming and just a beautiful landscape gathering area. An activity strip with different games and opportunities, ping pong and shuffleboard and bocce and cornhole, some tailgating style games if you like. We're going to have the sports field, which will do clinics for football, but also have open for any other sports, or if you just want to come out on your own, it won't be programmed all the time either. It's going to be an artificial field, again, to be very helpful in the shoulder seasons, and we'll develop a number of different things there. We'll take a closer look with some renderings. You can see in the foreground here is more of an open skating area, and you've got the tubing hill in the background. And as we move through, you can see the skating trail, which will go underneath the building. The building will house an ice skate as well as tube rental area, also a cafe, a warming area, and a second level will be some event space. And of course, at the top of the tubing hill, looking back at Lambeau's image and view kind of speaks for itself. Tubing hill will have defined lanes, and maybe some of you have been to these types of areas where you've got a specific lane and then a system to bring the tube back to the top. I mentioned the skating trail, weaving underneath the building. There'll be a fire pit. For those of you who like fires, it's going to be a real fire pit. So you can sign up. I'm kind of a pyro myself, but you can sign up to work that fire through the course of the winter. So here's a rendering looking at the whole property in a summer mode. And the grass on the hill will be an area that you can lounge and bring a blanket, do a picnic. We envision maybe doing some music there, like a music on the green type of setup. We've got a company out of New York, Biederman Redevelopment Ventures, that's doing some programming for the entire area, so we're excited about what they're bringing together. The playground I mentioned will have some unique equipment, really for all ages, some football themes, some climbing themes, and kind of a training camp theme on this side with a 40-yard dash area. But really to get kids excited about being outside and doing different activities. I mentioned the sports field, which will be available for all sorts of different activities. The activity strip, again with the various activities through the year, planned and unplanned, and the plaza. Just to give you a little sense of what this will look like in motion. Oh, pardon me. Didn't talk about the rest of the public park and plaza. We do have a couple acres that we haven't designed yet. I think we're trying to get a feel for what the end of the development will be here. I mentioned there could be an office building, there could be an apartment building here. So as we finish up these thoughts, then we'll finish out programming that plaza. But mainly it'll be some nice green space. Give you a sense, I don't know, maybe some of you have seen this, but kind of cool video to activate the space. little fun there with the trophy at the end. It was actually by accident. Somebody who was viewing it at the end said, "Did you guys do that on purpose? That kind of looks like the Lombardi trophy." I said, "Oh, good idea." So I showed that video earlier from Sunday Night Football. They've been a great partner of ours in this, but just, again, that attraction, that window through which you can see Green Bay, that is the Packers. As a community, we want to leverage that brand, leverage the interest in the stadium and in the G to get people thinking about Green Bay. And it's great to see the TV folks having some fun with this. So that same video, we of course land all the TVs in case they want to use it, and Sunday Night Football did again.
Sunday Night Football being brought to you by Toyota. Let's Go Places by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces and their families. And by Verizon, welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next gen network. Well, construction is underway. As you see the animation, Packers Titletown District, right next to Lambeau, expected to open next summer. You got a tubing hill, you got a skating rink, you got a playground, a lot of good stuff happening. Lambeau Field, they expanded it about a decade ago. Over 80,000 can fit in here. And a lot of people just, they come here all year long just to tour Lambeau Field.
I got $100 if you go down the tubing hill next year.
Well, 150 will do it.
125?
So, just to have those guys bantering about the development, and it gets people thinking about it. So it's just fun, and that's the beauty of our brand and the earned media you can get with that. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars to have them talking about it for almost a minute on air. So this photo is from just yesterday afternoon. So you can see where things are. If you haven't been up to Green Bay, Hinterland is open. Lodge Coral will be open in July. Just behind Lodge Coral, you can't see it in our fixed camera, is where the Bell and Health building is going up. I just did some close-ups here. Our team got the opportunity to go over to Lodge Kohler last week, and it's just looking phenomenal. It's just going to be really a nice destination for visitors and business folk alike. Hinterland, I mentioned, is open, and been so far a real good hit. And then what's fun is seeing the middle of the park come into place too. We planted some trees. You see the bottom of the sledding hill, and how that'll curve up to the top in our space there. This large evergreen we planted in the middle will serve as a holiday tree in the winter. We'll put lights on it. But those of you who've seen our Festival of Lights tree in front of the atrium, this will be similar over there. Little time lapse of construction. These videos are always fun. You probably see them all the time, but enjoy looking at it. There's some music to go along with it. Dave, sing for us a little bit.
My country is...
Go Pack Go or something. So again, something our organization is excited about, the community is excited about it. Just to summarize again, it's 42 plus acres, including the homes we purchased along adjacent street. And our initial tenants, Lodge Kohler, Hinterland, and Bell and Health, all going to be open this year. Some of their initial costs, $130 million overall, $65 million from the Packers, which includes the cost to acquire property, to raise it, some of the other testing and developmental costs that go into that. So we expect by the end of the development, certainly millions more to go in, but this is where we're at, really through phase one, and we'll probably update those costs as we finish up. Some of the contractors that have been involved, Myron is our lead on the public park and plaza area. Here are some of the subs that have been doing some work. Shoe Construction did the Hinterland building. Mortensen's working on Lodge Kohler. So they've got various subs that are working on those projects too. But these are some of the folks that we mainly work with. And a lot of them are the same companies that worked on Lambeau Field expansion and renovation, which has been going on going back to 2011. So with that, take some questions.
Questions, anybody?
Questions, anybody? Yes, sir.
I'm probably getting a lot enough voice. Do you think that these renovations will help bring on more national events? You know, they're talking about the draft and things like that. Is that something that you're looking towards in the future by doing some of these things, or is this more kind of local?
Oh, definitely national. We would love the scope to be national, international. You know, we work closely with our Convention and Visitors Bureau. In fact, Brad Toll, the president and CEO, he and I were in Philadelphia last weekend for the draft. And we have expressed interest in hosting the draft experience in Green Bay. There were 16 teams there, along with their CBB type equivalents, who were also interested in hosting. And I don't know if any of you see some of the draft on TV, but what they did was just incredible. The Ben Franklin Parkway, and building that theater on the steps of the museum, I mean, they spent tens of millions of dollars to do that. Every facility there, save for where Selection Square was, where the teen guys were inside the Franklin Institute, were erected buildings just for that. So it's incredible. What the NFL wants to do is really, the cities that express interest, they want to have something unique about those cities that would be natural to host a draft and help tell a story. And in Chicago, you may recall, was across from Millennium Park or Grant Park, and they used the Roosevelt Theater, and again, constructed buildings there. Other cities have different features they'd use. For us, certainly this would be a part of it, but that larger footprint that goes down to the Expo, the Resch Center. If I get back all the way to that, some of those photos. But we think we could do a footprint there that we'd use the arena, we would use Lambeau Field. Let's see. Here, this is kind of a good one. So we would use all our development in Titletown. We'd use the footprint of Lambeau. We'd go all the way to the Resch Center. So it's not Ben Franklin Parkway, but it's our best space that we can use, and we can use existing buildings. So we think we can put something together. Our biggest challenge in Green Bay would be hotel rooms. The stats they gave is Chicago and Philly each had 35,000 plus hotel room nights. Green Bay, as you may know, we're climbing toward 5,000 hotel rooms. If you go to Appleton, Fox Valley area, we can bump that up to about 8,000. So we would use the entire region to house it. What we're trying to get from the NFL and the vendors who worked it is how many rooms were just for people that were working and doing all that, separate from people coming to see it. So we know we can do it. Challenge would be hotel rooms, and it'd be just a different scope. But we've heard some great things from the NFL in talking to them. They think it would be really neat to be in Green Bay that's got a lot of history and tradition and the heritage of the NFL. Green Bay is an integral part of that, so let's have that be part of that. So the draft, that's kind of a long look into the draft part of it. But we've got other traveling shows. The Antique Road Show is one that actually we have this year, but those bigger events that go around the country and need a large space and an expo hall. Hopefully the expo hall initiative comes together. But we want to use the interest in the Packers and Lambeau Field to attract those types of events. So we got the visitorship, the business travel, but also have it be a neat place for people to consider living and working. And we'll have that with the development and the residential piece. So we'll have 30 to 70 townhomes. We're going to have an apartment building. So we want the residential piece too. And these properties on the park itself, they have patios that'll empty into or be connected to the plaza. So it really is a unique space to live. We're looking to get a grocer in here, a few more restaurants, other family entertainment options, those types of things. Yes, sir?
Yes, I'd like to know who are the main consultants, design consultants, and such as master planner, landscape, and some of the key architects, and then what was the design process like?
SPD, Sterling Project Development, they're out of New York. They work with the Mets and Citi Field. We looked at a few different design companies and ended up going with them. Architect, we used Rossetti out of Detroit. And I mentioned Biederman Redevelopment Ventures. They're helping with the planning and the use of the park space. So Rossetti really has, they've worked with each of the entities to get a look and feel that ties into Lambeau Field, but not necessarily copies it. So we wanted to have a kind of its own distinct look. But Sterling's kind of the main driver, our owner's rep with the project, and they bring in the other expertise, that sort of thing. So,
Thanks.
Anyone else? A couple over here.
Are there any other developments like this taking place with other sports organizations? I mean, you got a lot of different uses involved in this, or is this unique? Nobody else has done anything this usual.
We like to think this is unique in terms of mixing business, residential, green space. I think with 42 acres, to devote 8 to 10 acres of that to essentially a public space is pretty unique. So we're excited about that. But there are teams that have things going on. New England Patriots, you may have heard Patriot Place, which is mostly a commercial retail development that's adjacent to the stadium. The Cowboys have, not by the Cowboys Stadium, but by their headquarters, the Star in Frisco. They've got a development which includes a hotel, a football high school facility that's going to serve multiple high schools in the area. They've got a unique setup there. Other teams, including other sports teams, have these similar to the other pro sports teams, and the positive impact it can have. But the mix of what we have, and being right in a residential area, those of you who've been to Lambeau, that's what makes it so unique. You're driving down a tree-lined residential street, and bam, there's a pro football stadium. So we feel we've got one of the most unique spots. But we look at what other teams are doing, and we'll see some best practices compared now. It's the Braves, the Atlanta Braves have their new park that has development all around it. We actually, the Braves came in and shared with us what they were working on too. So it's kind of fun to see what other teams are doing.
Just to follow, thinking since we're going to go out there to the Bucks, is there any communication between Packers organization and Bucks? They're doing a lot of similar things.
Yes.
In the plaza, an open area.
Yeah, their leadership team reached out to us as they got underway, and then some of it was just simply the financing piece and the public financing piece, how we went about our process back in 2000, but also just kind of following along and seeing what they're doing in terms of the mixed use and things right around the stadium and focusing on that interest. So there is some discussion there and just sharing of ideas, yes.
I thought I saw on one of the slides, it seemed like some of the property to the south too was purchased. What were the plans for those? If you look at the houses towards the north of the stadium, it seems like they've developed into corporate, I guess, party houses or pregame houses or whatever. Is that something that's in your line of sight or you guys are thinking about?
No, we would not be involved in that type of development. And you're right, to the south here, we purchased all this mainly to prepare ourselves for the future. Right now we use it for parking, and we always have a need for parking. But the beauty about the area around the stadium is that it's always absorbed our increase in parking. You know, we've increased the size of the stadium, which took away parking, but yet the neighborhoods are able to absorb all the parking that's in yards and streets and commercial entities to the east. But for us, this is just very practical. It'd be parking, or maybe someday we'd have a football use for it, but we're not going to build homes or anything on there. To the north, you mentioned, well, there's party homes here in this area, and then to the north, yeah, there were some that were extensively renovated or simply torn down, and you have these Taj Mahal weekend pieces that you see happen on that street. And we were certainly aware of it. We don't have any relation to it other than they're anxious for the schedule to come out so they can get things listed. And I've been over there a couple times to see what was going on, and had invitation, or the media has done some things over there. So it's interesting to see how they get used. But football weekends in Green Bay are a big deal for Packers. And then when we had Wisconsin LSU last fall, that was a tremendously successful weekend, just a great weekend. It couldn't have been more perfect with the weather and LSU fans. I don't know if any of you noticed that caravan coming up from Louisiana. I had friends in Chicago texting me like, hey, I'm on the L. There's a bunch of LSU fans, man. You got a great weekend coming. So it's been fun. But development-wise, we see it, and we just hope everything is in good taste and has that Green Bay air about it.
I was there for that LSU game. It was a great experience, and we were also in one of those houses just north. Do you see another UW experience coming soon?
We do. We're not in a position to discuss much more, but when we had that game on the books, we said we hope to do this more in the future, and I think we'll be able to do that. But if you're a college football fan, those schedules are made so far in advance with the conference games and non-conference. But with the expansion of the playoffs and the need for significant opponents, you need to schedule the big teams against each other. And a lot of them are a little wary of doing the home and home where you go to the other team's place. But you do these kind of quasi-home and home like we did with LSU and we did with Alabama. And there's other teams out there that are looking into doing that with the UW, and I think that's where our opportunity will be.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
There had been talk about Big Ten championship game possibly being played at Lambeau. And then one other thing, I noticed I was up for a meeting last week at Lambeau and doing a lot of remodeling of the suites and boxes currently, and also I think in the parking lot they're putting up a permanent tailgate structure.
Yes, other construction around the stadium. Wait, going back, what was your first question again?
Big Ten championship.
Oh, Big Ten, yeah. So we did express an interest to the Big Ten. Our president, Mark Murphy, knows the Big Ten folks from his time at Northwestern, so we would love to host that game. And I think as a venue, just like we saw with Wisconsin LSU, it has great appeal. I think the challenge there was the time of year. We're getting into Packers football weather. You could have an awesome November, December day in Green Bay, but you could also have a very challenging day weather-wise. And hotel rooms and other things going on, I think, plays into that, where the cities where it's rotating now have much more infrastructure and much more available and a little more friendly on the weather. Like in Indianapolis, obviously, you've got the dome. And around the stadium, we're in the last phase of what goes back to 2011. All in, we're about $370 million with no public money. You may recall our project back in 2003 was about $295, including some public money. That put us in good footing to be able to do the recent projects, which include renovating all our premium areas. That's the last thing that's going on now, why some of our meeting space was shut down. But our suites, if any of you in suites, experiencing game in suites, were you on the West Side Suites last year with the operable windows? We were doing them in phases. We did the West Side last year. This year we're finishing up the East Side. Operable windows, the suite windows will open up. We've gutted the interior and redesigned, and new furniture, new furnishings, that sort of thing. Really excited about that. Our club area was redone, new carpet, new video boards, that sort of thing. We hadn't really touched it since it opened in 2003, so that was the last piece. And out in the East Side parking lot is the Johnsonville Tailgate Village. Those of you remember we had those temporary tents that went up over the last several years. We'd use them for the season, take them down, put them back up. That area's gotten so much more popular, we said, we penciled it out and realized we can put a permanent structure up, use it year-round, be a great place on game weekends, and that's what that'll be, and that's going to open this summer. And we've already started booking events in there too, so it's another complementary space to everything else we have around the stadium. But I think we'll be done then on our footprint. We'll constantly keep things fresh and up to date, but I don't envision any more building on the footprint around the stadium. We may do stuff by our practice fields, and the Hudson Center's getting a new surface, playing surface this year, and the building itself's in great shape, so we don't envision much there. So our focus really now is on Titletown over the next few years to get that up and fully developed. And where else can we collaborate with the area? The Chambers put together a strategic plan they're going to introduce next week to really bring together all the units in the Greater Green Bay area to move us forward, economic development plan, so we're excited about that, be a piece of that. We're running tight on time, gentlemen. I don't know if we're done or one more.
Great. Any other questions?
Aaron will be around during break too, right, Aaron?
Yes. I did not appreciate that Bears crack. It's true, but I didn't appreciate it.
Hey, what's the deal with trading and drafting that quarterback?
We can talk about that later.
Okay. Pirates have been blessed to have 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks back to back, and we shouldn't be so mean to other teams. We were very sorry to see Jay Kohler go. We're not still recording, right? We edit that piece out, don't post that part.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Everybody could just hang out here for a second. We're gonna